Do you want to become the mayor of the city? Do you want to rule with an iron fist and live in a life of luxury? Well, the first thing you have to do is you got to start out as a rebel. You got to overthrow the mayor and all of his minions. In order to reach the mayor, you must first complete a number of interesting and or bizarre quests per floor in order to earn the right to passage to the ascending level. You might also be tempted by other treasures that exist on your current floor to furnish yourself with weaponry and equipment and skills in order to survive the ascending levels, which increase mildly in difficulty as you progress. But you might also get yourself killed in the process and have to start over as another lowly rebel. The AI in Streets of Rogue is relatively diverse. They have their own priorities. They won't stand idly by and allow you as the player to pilfer what is theirs. They have their own schedule. They also have their own set of enemies. For example, the Red Gang will always fight the Blue Gang if they run into each other. Guerrillas and scientists are locked in a mortal and eternal feud, and zombies, they like to eat people's brains. Most floors also have cops that will intervene in violence or crimes committed both by the player and other NPCs. You can find yourself very easily in a street-wide brawl because one stray bullet hit the wrong group at the wrong time. There are unspoken alliances between some of the NPCs. Hit one cop, for instance, and every other cop around that sees it will jump to their aid and aggro against you or whoever shot. You can easily have conflicts that spiral out of control as everyone's firing bullets and their bullets are going astray because not every round hits. You can use these chaotic conflicts to your advantage to loot from the dead, but there are also NPCs that will be doing the exact same as you. You should always be careful who you shoot, lest you find yourself fighting a small army of allies. Fortunately, though, these tangled alliances are on a per-level basis, so if you complete your missions and you're able to exit the map, you will leave the chaos behind and start with a clean slate. The first thing you will do is you will stop at the rebel base. It is here that you will spend the in-game currency, chicken nuggets, to unlock what will appear in the game, such as equipment or weapons or skills. You can even custom pick what items or weapons or skills that you want to appear in the game, or you can even just remove them entirely if you don't find them useful. There's also a whole host of mutators, Unreal Tournament style, that will allow you to be able to fine-tune what type of experience you want, and there is a whole lot you can mess with there. The first thing you would do before starting a mission or starting the game, well, you will pick a class. This will give you starting abilities and equipment, and this will generally determine how you approach the systems within the game. The aforementioned guerrillas, they can't communicate, at least not without a translator, and scientists will attack you on sight. Meanwhile, if you're a cop, you have the right to apprehend, through force or otherwise, anyone seen committing a crime. Additionally, every character in the game has a big quest, which is their personal objective per floor. This varies from character to character, but it's generally fairly easy to accomplish if you aren't in a hurry. The hacker, for instance, wants to implant malware on every floor. Meanwhile, the zombies, well, they want to infect people, right? That's what zombies do. There is also a shopkeeper that you can find that will give you an additional mission that will reward the in-game currency, chicken nuggets, to allow you to unlock stuff later in the base. These missions are pretty similar to the main ones that you will get on a per-floor basis, so they are relatively easy to accomplish. More on quests later. Weapons and equipment vary in usefulness depending on your class and what difficulties or objectives you may run into in a game. You gain additional equipment and weapons by completing missions, purchasing them, or just stealing them from NPCs. Weapons have a durability limit and are only useful for X amount of time. Meanwhile, guns have about one clip of ammo. This will keep you swapping to whatever is available on your run based on what you need and the durability level. Fortunately, there is a specific vending machine in the game that will allow you to sell whatever you don't use. This money you can then use to buy different gear from NPCs, health items, pay a doctor to heal you, or even upgrade your skills. Now, skills are generally something you gain via level ups, and they basically increase what you can do in the game. Equipment can give you options for completing mission objectives in different ways. For instance, a window slicer lets you cut out a window and have a new entryway. Meanwhile, placing a cyanide pill into the air filtration of a building can eliminate everyone inside. Just be careful that you don't need to rescue an individual within a building because they'll die too. And you also need to wait for the cloud to dissipate before you go in. Quests or missions are relatively straightforward and similar between floors. Kill a target, rescue a target, steal an item, turn off the power, or blow up the power. What changes is the varied situations you will find yourself in to complete these missions. Sometimes there'll be enemies guarding them, other times you'll find traps or mazes that you have to navigate. You have to complete these. You can also fail them in order to move to the next floor, but succeeding at an objective gives you money or an item for its completion. The stages you go through will vary in content and NPCs. Early on, everything is relatively tame, and the difficulty will ramp up the deeper into the stages you get. By the end of a stage, when you move on to the next biome, you will run into what is known as a random event. This might be a robot assassin with a rocket launcher that is hunting you throughout the entire level. There might be a full-scale war happening between two different factions, and you're just stuck in the middle. There might even be a zombie invasion happening. These events tend to rush you along, forcing you to complete your missions quicker so you can get out before anything bad happens. The various stages do increase in difficulty the deeper in the game you get, but there's also the potential for advancement. Higher up, you'll find roaming mafia groups that if one of them is attacked, all of them will attack you. You also might run into cannibals hiding in the bushes that will just leap out and attack you. Even further in, you'll encounter mechanized police that don't take kindly to almost any of your activities. You also have to be extra careful of your shots and hope you don't need to eliminate a mafia boss as a mission objective. If you've somehow braved all the stages and somehow survived, you will reach the final floor where you will have to face the mayor and his bodyguards. Once you eliminate him, and probably also his bodyguards, you'll have to pick up his hat to enable a short sequence where you take power and set off a dance fest. You will then become the new mayor that needs to be overthrown. Although it doesn't play out this way, I always thought it would be interesting if the mayor was whatever character you last won the game with. The Steam version of this game has some mods in it, user-made mods, which mostly consist of new buildings and floor layouts, which can improve the variety of what you will find in the game. It also plays just fine on the Xbox Series S, and this might also facilitate easier co-op since you can just plug in another controller. Oh yes, it also has co-op. Overall, this has been a pretty fantastic indie title that's provided me countless hours of chaotic fun. I particularly like adding on a bunch of mutators and just making the game chaos. Maybe always have like a zombie invasion every mission or every stage with infinite ammo, infinite durability. The possibilities are endless.